أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum jameen wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let us begin with this short dua. As I said that many of us have either completed the Fajr prayer or Saharain prayers, depending where you are from. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma atti anna hakka ma mada min shahr Ramadan. واغفر لنا تقصيرنا فيه وتسلمه منا مقبولا ولا تؤاخذنا بإسرافنا على أنفسنا واجعلنا من المرحومين ولا تجعلنا من المحرومين وصل على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Inshallah, today we look at hadith, subhanallah. Now, this is the hadith which is one of the reasons that I chose this book. When I came across this hadith many years ago, when I was going through this book, The Combat of the Self, when I saw this hadith, it really sort of was a mind changer. It was not the way my approach to the Quran changed after reading this hadith. So we'll just look at the hadith and inshallah continue discussing this hadith for the remaining days. We have got 4 days during today, so we'll try to cover as much as possible. It's a beautiful hadith, but it's quite important hadith now. The same what hadith where Amir Mu'minin Islam is advising his son Mawlana Fia. So we continue with the same hadith, hadith 20224 in Wasa'il al-Shia. Wasiyat Amir Mu'minin alayhi salam liwaladi Mu'min Hanafiya. So he's giving wasiyat to his son Mawlana Fia. وَعَلَيْكَ بِالْقِرَاءَةِ الْقُرْآنِ. I advise you strongly, or you must read the Quran. Alayka. I advise you, that you recite the Quran. وَالْعَمَلِ بِمَا فِيهِ. And act upon what is found in it. وَالْعَمَلِ بِمَا فِيهِ. Just don't only recite it, but then, follow what is contained there. وَلُزُومِ فَرَائِدِهِ وَشَرَائِهِ وَحَلَالِهِ وَحَرَامِهِ وَأَمْرِهِ وَنَهِيهِ. Right? Then he said that, carry out the duties prescribed therein, the divine laws regarding that which is lawful and that which is unlawful or forbidden, its commands and prohibition, right? So you can see that says waluzumi, that you must carry out. Wara'idihi, whatever has been made farida, obligatory, or shara'i, whatever the laws are there, or halal, what is halal, what is haram, amrihi, that means whatever the command is there, or nahi, what we will stop. What tahajjudi bihi. What tahajjudi bihi, the translator here, she has said that try to ponder it. Now, I could not know why she did that, but perhaps maybe she might have looked at some kind of tafsir in Farsi or somewhere. In any case, so I've taken her translation and also added what I think now. What tahajjudi bihi, she says ponder over it. Now, we'll just say recite it because the discussion is recitation. Now, tahajjud, of course, as you know, refers to time when we do namaz al-shab. So in the middle of the night, tahajjudi bihi, wa tilawatihi fi laylika wa naharika. Again, you can see, do his tilawa in your daytime, in your nighttime, and also daytime. Night, because in Arabic they differ. For example, when there is sun, it's a nahar, right? For example, if you see after Fajr, once the sun rises, there's nahar all the way until sun sets, right? And then it's layl. So try to recite it. And that's why I think that my understanding of tahajjud is it's in line with the hadith, because it says, Imam says, start with early in the morning, tahajjud, recite it, and also do tilawat in your night. So tahajjud is late, early morning or late night, right? And still the night is there in Fajr prayers. So try to recite your Quran also in your night, still night. Wa naharika, and then daytime. إِنَّهُ أَحْدٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. Because it is ahad, it's a contract, it's a covenant, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ila khalqi. So Allah has left a kind of contract, a pledge, a covenant for us, for his creatures. Of course, in the way of Quran, through Quran, which came to Rasulullah. So he says, that clearly Imam says, first of all, Imam says, recite it, right? You must do that, follow it. And what do you follow, what you don't follow, Imam is mentioned. Now he says, when should you recite? Recite in tahajjud, recite in night time, recite daytime. Now Imam says, why should you recite it? فَإِنَّهُ أَحَدٌ, because it is a covenant, it is a contract, min Allah, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ila khalqi, to his creation. فَهُوَ wajibun. Now you can see the word Imam uses here, right? Quite wajib. Earlier said alayka. I advise you strongly. Now he says, فَهُوَ wajibun. It is wajib ala kulli Muslim. Imam has made this unconditional. He has not put any kind of, for example, this is a statement whereby it is general. He is not, for example, restricted to, for example, that only some people should read. No, every Muslim. فَهُوَ وَاجِبٌ عَلَى كُلِّ Muslim. He has not given any exception that somebody is busy, somebody is a nursing mother, somebody is a CEO in a company very busy, somebody is a doctor. No. He says, if you are a Muslim, Imam says, فَهُوَ وَاجِبٌ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ أَنْ يَنْزُلَ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ فِي أَحَدِهِ. It is wajib for every Muslim to look at the covenant, at the contract, every day, walau 50 ayatan, even if it means only 50 verses. In other words, 50 is the minimum Imam is talking about. Do as much as possible. Now, what is the question of looking at your contract? What does it mean? Let me give you an example. Let's say that you are a contractor, right? You're a contractor and you've been given a big job, making a huge building or some kind of, or making a road or some kind of thing. And then you'll find, usually, if you just talk to somebody who's a contractor, when they get a big job, huge, the papers which come from the government or from the company, it's a huge pile of paper. It includes all the kind of details, what is expected, because we are giving you a multi-million-dollar contract. In return, we expect you to follow certain things, right? So once you get the kind of contract to build a road or a huge building or some kind of structure, right, you'll be given a huge contract. And then every time as you build, as you progress in your building, right, you will need to look at it to see exactly what is needed. If the road is needed, how wide? Where do they want it? If, for example, if there is a water coming in between, do we have to make a bridge over it? Or what does the contract say, right? At every stage, you'll be required to look at that contract to be able to follow what is required. It's a huge contract, right? In the same way, Allah has created us. And then after creating, there are certain expectations from us that we should follow. Now, as we progress in our life, as we go, as we take every step in our life one by one, right? Allah wants us to look at. That's why Imam uses the word. This is the beauty, right? Certain times, beauty is lost in the translation. See, Imam all this time use about qara, tilawa, right? Here he says yanzur, look at it. Now, because you are going to follow your life, you need a guideline, you need a map, right? You need a map in your life to follow. So we have nowadays your GPS. In olden days, for example, even if I want to go to a road which is strange road, what do? You always open the map, right? Look at it and then follow. So as we are progressing in our life, we need to take steps, what to do. Now I'm married, so what is my required? Now I'm a father, what am I required? Now I'm a mature son, what is required of me, right? Only yesterday, subhanAllah, one local alim called me and said that one of the biggest challenges our youths are facing nowadays is that their parents are living long life, and then they have to look at their own family, and also to look at their parents. So how do we balance? What is your idea? How can we balance the life? So you can see the challenges, right? So at every stage in life, there are challenges you face. So open the map. This is, the Quran is the map for us how to follow, life, right? So Imam uses the word yanzuru. So he says, فَهُوَ وَاجِبٌ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ أَنْ يَنْظُرَ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ, every day, في عهدي, at this contract, right? At this, ولو 50 آيات, even if it means just look at 50 verses and see that how you can be led towards in your life. وَعَلَمْ, and then of course the other part is on the درجات الجنة على other ayat. When Imam says that the stages in the ranks in Jannat are a number of verses. For example, 6,236, right? فإذا كان يوم القيامة, when the day of judgment will come, يقال لقارئ القرآن, the person who recited Quran will be asked, Ikra, read now. Of course, since you recited it, either you'll be given the Quran to recite again, or because you have recited, Allah will bless you that you'll be able to remember what you recited. Now, this is the beauty about it. Now, I'll tell you certain things, Allah does it. For example, there is a great alim in Iran, Ayatollah Jawad Amudi, you must have heard. He is been lecturing for the last so many years on Quran tafsir, and his tafsir is known as Tasneem. It has reached, I think, volume 65 or even more. Detailed tafsir. So at one stage, he says that there are certain things in life, if you recite it regularly, you never forget it, even if you age, even if you tend to forget, for example, things you won't forget. So one of them he mentions is Zayat Ashura. If you recite Zayat Ashura regularly, a time would come that even if you age, even if you become very old and you tend to forget things, but this you won't forget. So in the same way, for example, because you're reciting Quran regularly, a time would come that on the day of judgment, you'll be asked to recite the Quran. Now, either the Quran will be given to you, or just Allah will have that you have memorized this thing. Ikra, read. Warka fala yakunu fil jannati ba'da nabiyina wa siddiqin al-fala. And then Saint says, no, just read, because you can see this recital as we told, read and rise in there. So ikra work. That means read and just climb the stage, right? فَلَا يَكُونُ فِي الْجَنَّةِ بَعْدَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ أَرْفَعُ دَرَجَةً مِنْهُ سُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ. In Jannat, there is no stage higher than, for this person, besides, of course, prophets and Siddiqeen. After that, the next stage in Jannat will be those who recite Quran regularly. And based on how often you recite the Quran, you'll be rising at every, stage. So this is what we have discussed, is just the translation. I will just translated the hadith, they were understood. We will continue discussing this thing. Now, I have a question for you to ponder. And I would request you, because we don't have much time, if by this evening, if you can send the answer. The question for you to ponder is, despite so much emphasis in this hadith which we discussed, of Amir Mu'minin al-Islam to his son Muhammad Nafiya on Quran Tilawa, why it is not wajib to recite the Quran daily or weekly or monthly or annually or any time in the life. For example, you've been told you must say 5 namaz, it's wajib. You must fast 1 month in Ramadan, right? These are wajibat. You must give khums 20%. You must give zakat 2.5%. You must go to Hajj, right? You must do Amr bil Maruf and square. The conditions are there. Why you have not been told that it is wajib for you to recite Quran once a day, or once a week, or once a month, or once a year? Never. In spite of such a hadith, which is a lot of emphasis. So please try to ponder over this thing. And if you can send only a line or two, because I don't want to read a lot of things, and then inshallah we'll discuss the answer tomorrow. Any questions, any clarifications you would like me to make? Feel free to unmute yourself, or even you can put in a chat. Okay, so since we don't have any questions, I'll stop the recording and